Hey guys, I am MG, and for the first film from 2025 to be covered on this channel, I'll be looking at Fight or Flight, which is a 2025 action film that is about a mercenary teaming up with his target when the plane experiences some trouble, which was directed by James Madigan and written by Brooks McLaren and DJ Cotrana. However, why don't we stop drinking champagne and start reviewing right now? Honestly, I don't really have a whole lot to say about this film, since it's pretty one note and not filled with a lot of substance, but I can safely say that I had a good enough time with this film. Not amazing, but I had fun with it for the whole runtime, and did deliver some great action, which is probably its best attribute. All the fight scenes are very well choreographed, and while they don't have a lot of tension, they don't need to. It was just an engaging part of the film that pretty much amused me, which is what I can also say about the entire film. Plus, this film is extremely violent. Like, holy script, I was not expecting that. But it doesn't feel out of place in the slightest, and they made the fight scenes more investing to watch. And I enjoyed the two main characters as well. They're not good per se, and I don't really care about the chemistry, since they're just talking about the situation, but individually, they're decent enough. Lucas was kind of thinly written, with a generic backstory, but I think Josh Hartnett's committed performance is why I can overlook that. He is honestly pretty fun, especially when he plays around with his character, in ways that are just enjoyable. So, good job, Hartnett. But I kind of like Isha more. Her writing is much more complex, Charithra Chandron was pretty likable in her acting, and I like how she is set up as just a flight attendant, but then becomes much deeper. And man, I thought that was nice. I don't know. Plus, I did like her final scene in the airplane with Lucas. That was pretty sweet, and felt natural for both characters in my opinion. Outside of Royce, who was pretty nice, the other characters were a bit bland and uninspired, but since the movie doesn't really focus on them too much, I can live with that issue. The editing is very sharp, and it greatly makes the action more exciting. It does feel off when Lucas is exiting the cargo area, like why did it have cut shots instead of being a one take? But outside of that, the editing was very well done, so that's neat. And that hallucination scene was the best part of the movie. It was so unnecessary to the plot, but I kind of accepted it because of how silly it was, so that was enjoyable. I honestly don't have many problems with this film, and its lack of greatness is mostly due to the aspects only being good or decent. However, my main issue is how it can be repetitive a lot of the time. I know you cannot do much in the airplane, but the structure is mostly action and then character moment, and this repeats throughout the whole film, and I think there could have been some way to make this film have a less repeating structure. The story can also be very confusing at times, like they always drop some new information in practically every character moment, and while it does make this film have more depth, I wish that it was explained better. Like, with Lucas's backstory, they don't really explain it all that well. Not to the point where it's not understandable, but to the point where it doesn't feel very natural. I'm sorry, that's just how I see it. There were also some pointless scenes here and there, like the scenes at the headquarters wasn't boring, but not really interesting. And I'm not really a fan of the ending. It ends with a cliffhanger that kind of feels janky, as we don't even know where the characters are, and it just felt very unnecessary to end it this way. So overall, this film will not be for everyone, and while it's not great, it was still a solid addition to the action genre that had its fair share of fun moments. So yeah, I'm giving it a 7.2 out of 10. Goodbye everyone, and thank you for watching. Bye!